What's up, YouTuber? Valtryek here, and today I'm gonna bring you the Tournament of Champions. As you see in front of you, there are 32 bays, 4 of which are not really champions, but I kinda ran out of room. Alright, first round is gonna be a first to 2 points, and it'll stay like that until the top 8. Let's begin. Alright, for the first match we have Stone Lindworm versus Valtryek Prominence, first to 2. Okay. The armor did the trick, you saw that? Alright, second match is Victory Valtryek versus Wonder Valtryek, first to 2. Victory Valtryek, 2-0. Harmony Pegasus versus Flame Pandora, first to 2. Flame Pandora, 1-0. Harmony Pegasus, 1-1. Flame Pandora wins by a score of 2-1. Perseus Dark versus Spryzen Requiem, first to 2. Perseus Dark, 1-0. Spryzen Requiems, 1-1. Perseus Dark wins by a score of 2-1. Alright, Cho Z Valkyrie versus Cosmic Apocalypse, first to 2. Cosmic Apocalypse, 1-0. Cosmic Apocalypse, 2-0. Ultimate Valkyrie versus Perfect Phoenix, first to 2. Ultimate Valkyrie, 2-0. Sordran versus Zewi Luinor, first to 2. Simultaneous survivor finish. Sordran, 1-0. Sordran wins by a score 2-0. Lightning L-Drago versus Geist Fafnir, first to 2. L-Drago, 1-0. Lightning L-Drago wins by score 2-0. Greatest Raphael versus Boom Khalazar for Sunday 2. Raphael 1-0. Greatest Raphael wins by score 2-0. Brave Valtryek versus Triumph Dragon for Sunday 2. Brave Valtryek 1-0. Triumph Dragon 1-1. Brave Valtryek wins by a score 2-1. Impact Jake versus Lord Spriggan for Sunday 2. Impact Drake 1-0. Impact Drake wins by score 2-0. Astro Hello Kitty versus King Spriggan for Sunday 2. Wow, simultaneous survivor finish. Astro Hello Kitty 1-0. Hello Kitty wins by score 2-0. Alright, Venom Devils versus Twisted Tempo for Sunday 2. Twisted Tempo 1-0. Tempo wins by score 2-0. Arcane Spryzen versus Tusk Mammoth for Sunday 2. Arcane 1-0. Simultaneous survivor finish. Arcane 2-0. Alright, Astro Spriggan versus Dran Buster for Sunday 2. Astro Spriggan wins by score 2-0. Final match of the first round is Sword Phoenix versus Perfection Phoenix for Sunday 2. Sword Phoenix 1-0. Sword Phoenix wins by a score 2-0. These are the top 16 of the Tournament of Champions. First big turn 2 points to advance to quarterfinals. Alright, first match is Astro Hello Kitty versus Spear Valtryek Prominence for Sunday 2. Astro Hello Kitty 1-0. Spear Valtryek 1-1. Spear Valtryek Prominence wins by score 2-1. Flame Pandora versus Cosmic Apocalypse for Sunday 2. Cosmic Apocalypse 1-0. Cosmic Apocalypse wins by score 2-0. Alright, Brave Valtryek versus Ultimate Valkyrie for Sunday 2. Ultimate Valkyrie 2-0. Alright, Astro Spriggan versus Perseus Dark for Sunday 2. Astro Spriggan 1-0. Perseus Dark 1-1. Perseus wins by a score 2-1. Impact Drake versus Twisted Tempo, first into 2. Impact Drake wins by a score 1-0. Impact Drake wins by a score 3-0. Sordran versus Greatest Raphael, first into 2. Raphael 1-0. Greatest Raphael wins by a score 2-0. Victory Valtryek versus Arcane Spryzen, first into 2. Oh my god. Arcane Spryzen 1-0. Arcane wins by a score 2-0. Sword Phoenix versus Lightning L-Drago in the final match of the top 16. First into 2 win. Sword Phoenix 1-0. L-Drago 1-0. 1-1. Simultaneous survivor finish. Lightning L-Drago wins by a score 2-1. Alright, we reached the quarterfinals of the Tournament of Champions, and here are the matchups. Ultimate Valkyrie versus Cosmic Apocalypse, Spear Valtryek versus Impact Drake, Arcane Spryzen versus Lightning L-Drago, and Perseus Arc versus Greatest Raphael. First batter 2 points to win the match. Apocalypse 1-0. Simultaneous survivor finish. Ultimate 1-1. Ultimate Valkyrie wins by a score 2-1. You do it. Spirit 1-0. Spear wins by a score 2-0. Lightning L-Drago versus Arcane Spryzen, first into 2. Arcane 1-0. L-Drago 1-1. Alright. Lightning L-Drago wins by a score of 3-1. Alright, Greater Raphael versus Perseus Dark for Sunday 2. Perseus 1-0. Alright, Perseus Dark wins by a burst finish by score 3-0. Alright, to reach the semifinals of the Tournament of Champions, and these are the matchups. First one up, we got the King of Champions, Valtryek Prominence, versus Perseus Dark. And then we have the Dragon Emperor, Lightning L-Drago, versus the Ultimate Attack type, Ultimate Valkyrie. First match earned 3 points to advance to the finals. Perseus 1-0. Prominence 1-1. Spirit 2-1. Spirit Valtryek wins by a score of 3-1 at advancing to the finals. Alright, now we got Lightning L-Drago versus Ultimate Valkyrie, first on the 3 points. Ultimate Valkyrie 1-0. Lightning L-Drago 1-1. Simultaneous survivor finish. Simultaneous survivor finish. Ultimate 2-1. L-Drago 2-2. L-Drago wins by a score of 3-2 at advancing to the finals. Alright, we reached the finals of the Tournament of Champions. And here we got the attack type champion Lightning L-Drago versus the King of Champions, Spear Valtryek. First one to 2 points wins. What time is it? 3:20. Oh, fuck. Okay. Can you take out one of the dogs?
Yeah, I'll take out one of right now.
Spear Valtryek 1-0.
What? That sounded powerful.
Yeah, I don't want to break it down. The top 4 was Perseus against Spirit and L-Drago against Ultimate. Right now, the score is 2-0 with Spirit in the lead. You know, because L-Drago is the second to last one, technically,
yeah,
he's the ultimate champion. But if he defeats Spirit, which is not a possibility, 3-0 for Spirit. Keep moving down.
Bro, why?
Why not? Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good, Ozzy. That's good. And the winner is... Wow. Yeah, that was to be expected. Spear Valtryek Prominence wins by a score of 4-0. Alright, and that concludes the Tournament of Champions. Thanks for watching this video. Peace, Spirit out.